Welcome to this week's edition of Coach Prep. Coach Don and I are working remote this week, but we got a really fun topic for you. We're going to talk about helping players handle the clutch/high pressure situations, how to be better prepared for those. Before we get into that, so let's talk about patreon.com/everythingfastpitch. If you're in a position where you can help us, we would love for you to become a patron. We certainly do appreciate the patrons that we have. We would love to see some more people come on board. The reality of the podcast world is that patrons are the one thing that we can always count on. You know, sponsors seem to come and go, but the patrons have been our rock. So we would love to see some more people come on board and join the great group of patrons that we already have. So go to patreon.com/everythingfastpitch. Rocking $5, $10, or $20 a month. We'll take you through the steps. We'll get you signed up, and please come on board and become a patron if you can do so. So, Don, one of the greatest challenges for all coaches, and I think all players in pretty much every situation universally across the board, is how to handle it when they're in that quote-unquote high leverage, high pressure, game on the line kind of situation. Now, usually we think about it from a hitter's perspective. You're at the plate with the tying run at third, the winning runs at second, 2 outs. You know, every eye in the park is watching your at bat because, you know, the game kind of rests in your hands. I wanted us to talk about some things that we can do that we can help our players do a better job with to manage those kinds of situations and maybe thrive in them and have a little bit more success in them.
Yeah, no, I think that's exciting, Tori, and you kind of touched on it because it does happen when you're in the circle as a pitcher as well. You just reverse the roles and the game's on the line either way. And for us to have a chance to do a good job in those situations, experience would be a really neat thing for us to all have. But how do we get experience with we're down 1 run, there's 2 outs, it's the bottom of the inning, and we got bases loaded, and I'm coming up to bat? How many times do I really get to do that? And the answer is very seldom. But when whoever it is in our lineup that's coming up to bat, we would sure like for them to be in a good state of mind and in a good mind space for that to be as productive as possible. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen anyway, but wouldn't it be nice to go up there feeling confident and comfortable and being really excited to be the one that gets a chance to go do this for the team? Sometimes I'll talk to students about visualizing or dreaming or putting yourself in that position and relaxing, seeing an outside pitch and driving it to right field. You know, the ball lands near the line and we score 2 and we win the game and everybody's excited. Or she throws me an inside pitch and I turn on it. You know, you go through all those different scenarios, but if we can envision that happening and dream about it and visualize it, when it does happen, it won't be such a huge shock because I'll feel like I've been there before. Even though I haven't, it was, you know, late last year was the last time that came up for me.
Right.
And it's something that we need to rehearse. And that's the same if you're a pitcher in the circle. You know, we got bases loaded, full count, tie ball game, or we're up 1. And if I walk, it's going to be a tie ball game. But see myself throw that bases loaded, full count, perfect change up for a strike on the outside half of the plate and rehearse it and see it over and over because she's fouled 5 of my, you know, fastballs or curveballs off or whatever. And now it's time to throw that change up and I'm going to throw it perfect. And here it is. And just rehearse it over and over. So at least we have a good chance for something good to happen because I'm in a good frame of mind. I'm feeling excited and positive and I want to be there. You know, it's kind of fun when we do little camps and clinics, Tori, and we describe that scenario where we're losing by 1. We got 2 outs and bases loaded. And you look out into the group of kids and who wants to be the next one up to bat? And they all kind of look at one another. It's like, should it be me? Or, you know, occasionally you'll get that one athlete that'll throw their hand up. It's like, I want to be the one. Let me go do it. But the reality is whoever's next in the lineup is going to be the one that's going up there. So we want them all to be, you know, throwing their hand up in the air and being excited about it. So talking about this and giving them at least a little bit of a way to navigate it or to be prepared for it, I think is going to be an exciting thing for us to share as coaches. And I'm glad that you brought that up as a topic today. Or, you know, we've also got a situation where fielders, right? That ball might be scorched at me when we've got bases loaded and the game on the line. And if I've been dreaming about how I'm going to lay out and make a great play or, you know, it's a runner on second base and a ground ball hit to me and I'm going to throw it on the money, nice 1-hop to the catcher so that it's an easy tag play at home. If I've dreamt it over and over and over and I'm excited for, you know, it's like, please hit it to me, hit it to me, hit it to me. Then when it does get hit to me, it's not like a major panic or a shock or, oh no. because I've been preparing for it. So yeah, it's a great topic.
I think a whole bunch of really important things. A couple of things that I would add. One is everybody wants to just, well, hey, it's just another at bat. It's no different than any other time. You got the same job to do, yada, yada, that whole thing. And while that sounds good on the outside, it's a whole different world that, when you're the player who's in that position, because kids are smart. They figure out pretty quickly that, what's at stake, what's on the line in a situation. And one of the things I've started doing, and it's really kind of an eye opener, is I finish almost every lesson with, what I call simulations, which is basically, this exact situation we're talking about. So right now you're up at the plate, the bottom of the seventh inning, the tying runs at third, the winning runs at second. It's a full count, 2 outs. And, it might even be, a specific situation. And the umpire's been calling a lot of low pitch strikes. So the umpire's been really calling that outside corner or whatever it is, just to, make it feel as real as possible. And it's so funny because even just saying that in a batting cage, where kids know that I'm throwing them pitches that they can hit, all day long.
With nobody hardly watching. Yeah.
Right. With only 3 people in the building. And they'll still have this look on their face like, oh, no, I don't think I can do this. But, you keep doing it over and over and over again. You keep simulating it. And eventually, I think you can give kids a little bit more comfort level, a little bit more familiarity with what it would feel like. They can start, as you said, dreaming about and rehearsing in their minds. But while you were talking, I couldn't help but think about something. When I was a kid, and maybe this is something that kids still do, but I don't think they probably do. But I can remember out in the alley shooting baskets all by myself and doing the 3, 2, 1. He shoots, he scores,
Swish.
We win.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. Kind of trying to, in my mind, imagine how much fun it would be, how cool it would be to be in that situation, to have an opportunity to win the game when the game's on the line. And obviously softball's a little bit different. When you're hitting in the cage, though, you can do the same thing in your mind. You're like, all right, the tying runs at third, there's 2 outs, and I've got to get a hit to keep this game going, or I got to figure out a way to get this runner in. You could do it, for other situations of situational hitting, of moving a runner over or getting a bunt down. I do another one where I call it get on, get over, get in. And so the same player, their first job is to hit the ball well enough that we think that they would have gotten on base, so they would have got a hit. So now if they got a hit, we judge, okay, is that a double or a single? So now, okay, you're on first. So now your job is to get the bunt down so we can move you into scoring position. So now if you get the bunt down, now what's your job? Well, now I'm going to get a hit so I can drive myself in. And just, more of those kinds of things that we do, I think help kids start to picture in their minds that, that their practice time can feel a whole lot more like game time. And we talked in the Everything Fast Pitch podcast this week about helping players be smarter in their home training to make sure that they're getting more out of it. Well, this kind of thing would be a perfect thing to dovetail into those discussions. Try to create in your mind, some pressure situations, some clutch situations, someplace where you really want to come through for the team or come through for yourself, and just help kids, see the connection. I don't think you can ever totally simulate the pressure, but I think you can do an awful lot to help them start to get a lot more comfortable with it and a lot more familiar with it. So I think that would be my biggest suggestion.
And I think that's just going to make good teams better if everybody's in that mindset. I want that good team to have a whole group of kids, Tori, that when you describe the situation, it's like, I want to be the one. Everybody throws their hand up. Let me go.
Yeah.
So that we can be a little bit more confident. I think that's good stuff.
I just couldn't help but think about that. 3, 2, 1. And I was not even I barely could even say I was a basketball player.
No,
but
I love it.
Backyard, I thought I was, back then it would have been Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when he was still with the Bucks, or, Oscar Robertson or somebody like that, but it was like, Tori shoots, he scores. Okay. So maybe our kids need to be doing a little bit more of that when they're hitting in practice and hitting at the house. So that's going to wrap up this edition of Coach Prep. Please make sure you consider becoming a patron. Go to patreon.com/everythingfastpitch. Please make sure you go to the fastpitchprep.com website. You can order your Square Cuts training discs there. We also have the YouTube channel and tons of blogs on the blog posts. So there's tons of information on the fastpitchprep.com website. And please make sure you reach out to us with questions, ideas, suggestions, and topics. And again, at everythingfastpitch@gmail.com or fastpitchprep@gmail.com. So for Coach Don McKinley, our producer, Stan Lewis, this is Coach Tori saying thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again next week.